beautiful sights of Portland, Oregon, where the Xfinity Series is racing this weekend. But today is a special day because it's our own Jamie McMurray's birthday. So we thought we would remind him what a great teammate he is here at Fox and look back at some of his best TV moments.
Ooh, I got a headwind on the backstretch. Can we get some more ice cream? Yeah. And you were crossing the line. Oh my God! Oh my gosh!
I don't know if people will find that funny, right?
No. I just love me some Jamie McMurray, and the happiest of birthdays to you, Jamie, joining us with Adam Alexander and Trevor Bain from the booth. What'd you think, Jamie? I mean, you are down, you play along with us when we ask you to do crazy things.
My life has changed a lot since I retired from driving, and I could only see or hear some of that, but I know some of it was with Adam running around the quarter mile at the Clash.
You know, when you came to TV, you were just dull and boring, to be quite honest about it.
Got him right out of his shell.
Yeah, I mean, now he's fun and wide open. Hey, speaking of fun and wide open, that practice we had earlier today was fun and wide open, huh?
I don't know how wide open they were in the rain, but it was fun to watch, I'll tell you that. They were sliding around all over the place.
No idea what we're going to see really throughout this race tomorrow, because when you go to a new track, especially as the guys talked about in the rain, so many unknowns.
Yeah, I mean, I think Allmendinger obviously is going to be the favorite heading into the race tomorrow. But the one thing that I saw in practice today is I thought Ty Gibbs might be the car to beat. I know it was wet, but it just seemed like he had the most control of his car. Looked like he had a good handle on it today.
Yeah, and you see Sheldon Creed jump up to the top of the board, and I think that was a product of the track just getting faster and faster as it dried out throughout that practice. I think it's a lot of unknowns heading into qualifying here.
I just can't believe we don't have a cake. I mean,
I'm thankful that you don't have a cake.
The cake smash would have been so good. Thank you for bringing his birthday to our attention, Caitlin.
You know what?
Yeah.
I only hope, since what he got his beautiful wife, Christy, for Mother's Day, which was absolutely nothing, I hope Christy returned the favor. He said, why do I buy her Mother's Day gift? She's not my mother. Well, why should she buy you a birthday gift, Jamie?
Man.
It's not her birthday.
Laying it on you on your birthday.
That's
Man, Larry texted me at 4:45 this morning, and now he throws me under the bus with my wife. Larry, come on.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Have fun up there in the Xfinity Series booth. All right, so Portland and St. Louis. If you could pick which one you'd rather be at for the weekend, what do you think?
I've been a big fan of St. Louis, and I'm so glad to see the Cup cars there, but I'm excited about this truck race tomorrow. I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see the Cup cars race here. First time, I think that's going to be exciting. So I would stop at St. Louis, not have to go to Portland. So I'll say that as well.
No matter which one you pick, it's going to be exciting between those two venues, no question about it. All right, for Bobby, Larry, and myself, that does it for us here on this edition of NASCAR Race Up. Xfinity Series qualifying from Portland, Oregon. It is coming your way next.
Thank you, Caitlin. It's a great weekend for NASCAR. Headed to the Pacific Northwest tomorrow. NASCAR Xfinity Series teams racing for the first time at Portland International Raceway. Right now, it's qualifying live on FS1. Practice happened earlier today. We had a whole lot going on in the rain.
Now you see Josh Berry going around right here. This is before they even made a lap. The track extremely slick out there.
Well, and here's one of his Junior Motorsports teammates. These are the first two of four. We saw all these guys going around turn 4. Now Sam Mayer, he's going to follow suit.
Sam Mayer going around in turn 5, noses into the wall. He is not going to a backup car. Teammate Noah Gragson is.
Yeah, this is the big hit of the day. You see Noah Gragson lose it on the front stretch, hits that inside wall, and then a huge clump of dirt. He'll be going to a backup car to start the race tomorrow.
And you see Noah coming over to help repair the race car. That's what any good driver does after they get into the wall and you have to go to a backup. Welcome back, everybody, as we get you set for qualifying here tonight. So we showed you what happened in practice earlier today. What happens now in qualifying? Because the question remains, what condition is the track going to be in, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously did the first practice in the wet. It started to dry out towards the end, but now that qualifying started, we still don't know. It's misting slightly. Big decision, and I think just probably the most stressful stressful time of the weekend for these guys, knowing whether they're going to be in the rain or shine. Tomorrow, however, it looks like it's going to rain again, so another stressful night for all these crew chiefs.
Well, and the track changes so much here at Portland from all the discussions I've had. The balance of the car changes, the grip level, and your line. When it rains like that, you've got to run a totally different line. So these drivers trying to prepare for qualifying, I think it's a big wild card for them going into this tonight.
Your entire practice is in the wet. What do you want to see as a driver? Would you rather just go in the wet since that's how you practiced?
Well, I think it's a little bit different here knowing that we have a little bit of time. It's not like you have to go out and do it on that very first lap. Personally, I'd like to go out in the dry. I think that's a little easier lap to run. The wet just throws so many obstacles at you, depending on how much puddling there is. And the one thing that I saw in practice is that the curbs are extremely slick. We saw Sam Mayer get on the outside of one of those curbs and go around.
Yeah, and the other thing you notice is how off-camber some of these corners are. They're really flat, kind of coped in the center, and I think that makes it even tougher in the rain. You have nothing to lean on, but these guys only have braking points for the rain. They haven't raced here before, so there's nothing to go back to for dry braking points. I think that makes it a lot tougher than a situation like Watkins Glen, where maybe you practice in the rain and qualify in the dry.
You saw the pace car out there, A.J. Allmendinger, actually riding in the pace car, trying to get an evaluation of the track to help determine what we should do for this qualifying session. Let's head down to pit road now and check in with Jamie Howe. Hey, Jamie.
Hey, Adam, for the last several hours, there hasn't been very much precipitation in the air, but that's just started to pick up just in the last 30 minutes or so. There are just mild raindrops falling right now. All of the cars that are parked out on pit lane still have the yellow Goodyear logos on the side of their tire. That signifies that those are the slicks. If they switch over to the white logos, then you know that they've gone to a rain tire, but that's not what we're seeing right now. So I think that these drivers are actually going to get a chance to see the track in dry conditions. I want to go back to Noah Gragson and the incident that he did have during the practice session this morning. He explained it to me as on the front straightaway, it's crowned, and when he went in to make a pass around two of the slower cars, he went off to the left side and there was some standing water. He hit the puddle, started to take slap, send him across the racetrack. There was really nothing he could do at that point. But what he did learn is that if we do have a wet race tomorrow, he knows not to go to the left side of the front straightaway. So there were some valuable takeaways for him. He's in a backup car. He's going to go out and qualify at about 90%. Now he's going to have to start at the back of the field regardless of what kind of lap time he puts down today, but this is going to set his pit stall selection for the next race. So he wants to make sure that they have the best foot going forward, salvage as much as they can out of today. So you hear the engines fire, they still have the yellow Goodyears on. Let's go down to Josh Sims for more.
Well, Jamie, you know, anytime you have a race like this at a specific type of road course, you're going to have specialists in the field. And Andy Lally in the 44 is one of those specialists who has a ton of experience on road courses. Now, he's never quite raced here before, but he says that practice certainly helped him get up to speed. He is very confident, and given the weather, he said if there's rain, let the rain come. He is ready for stuff like that. He says he had speed during practice, 11 fastest on the board. He said now they got some adjustments to give him a little more drive off. He said now when it comes to qualifying, it's about qualifying well, and when it gets to the race, he's going to lean on that experience. He says, get me through to stage 3. That's when that experience is going to take over, and you know what? He's got 4 top 5s at road courses in the Xfinity Series, and he's no reason he says he can't have another one, and if not, be in victory lane, guys.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't run here a lot, Josh, but when he comes and races in the Xfinity Series, typically he always finishes at least inside the top 10, and he is someone you know will be a player tomorrow, especially, as Josh said, in the wet. So here's how we're set up for group qualifying in the Xfinity Series. We've divided into Group A, Group B. Each will get 15 minutes on track. The top 5 in each session move on to the final round of qualifying. Those 10 will run for the pole. You can watch it all here on FS1, and some pretty good cars in this opening group. Among them, Sam Mayer. We know how red hot he has been lately. Noah Gragson, although we know he'll drop to the rear, will have a fast race car undoubtedly. Daniel Hemrick is here. Brandon Jones. Austin Hill, someone who's a bit underrated when it comes to road racing. These are all drivers that are going out in Group A. The 15 minutes is on the clock, and we've turned them loose.
You know, for Noah here, I'm really interested to see how much does he push it. He's already got a torn-up race car. There's not a ton on the line here for him, but it may pay off to underdrive this thing a little bit. You get a few people that go out, overdrive the car, overshoot some corners, and it may work out well for him.
Well, and look, knowing that he has to start in the back, this this session right here is about making sure there's no oil leaks, just doing all the simple things right, and making sure their car is ready for tomorrow. There's no rubs, just all the things that could go wrong with taking a new car out on the track. I like the fact that some of these guys have went right out, though. And if you look, most of the grills are not taped completely off. Normally, if we're only going to run 1 or 2 laps, we tape that grill completely off. They'll put a little more air in the tires so they can go out and have the maximum grip for the first lap. But these guys, it looks like they're going out, the grill's open, and just going to try to learn the track. We talked about it just a few minutes ago. Nobody's run on the dry tires yet today, so this is a little bit of a learning curve for them.
This is Andy Lally coming down turn 1, turn 2. The chicane as you come across the start-finish line.
Well, and Trevor talked about it just a second ago. They don't have braking points for being in the dry. All the braking points they had were for wet weather. And so Andy's obviously has gotten into that corner a little bit too deep. You know, Trevor could also be something that they changed the brake bias for wet weather versus dry weather. Maybe the brake bias just wasn't set to where he needed it.
No, definitely. I had a conversation with Justin Allgaier after practice, and he said typically in rain conditions, I need all the rear brake I can get. In the rain, these cars were sliding around in the back a lot, so we could see a lot of tire lockup. But you're right, Jamie. The biggest thing is that braking point. Justin thought, I'm braking at the 1,000. Can I make it to the 600 marker going into the corner? And I think Lally pushed it to that limit. I really think it's a big benefit to be in the second group here, guys. When I watch this, and you know that these other drivers, Ty Gibbs, Connor Mozak, they're standing there on pit wall watching to see where they're lifting out, and they're trying to get that data right now.
Well, and multiple reasons. Not only does the track's a little wet, it's been misting all afternoon. They're going to dry the track out a little bit just with cars being on the track. But they're also going to have an idea of the lap time. We know that they were 10 seconds slower than this when the track was wet. So I think mentally as a driver, you know, okay, 1:17s right now are a good lap time. I kind of know where I need to be.
Well, a good reference to see that speed gain right there off the last corner, turn 12. Did you see how much track they used? In practice, in the wet, they stayed way lower, so they're carrying tons of speed off these corners now.
Now, something you're noticing is as we cycle through and cars are jumping up on the timing sheet on our pylon, it's happening over on the back straightaway. We're utilizing the alternate start-finish line. So don't be confused. You would think when they come off turn 4, cross the start-finish line that we'll use in the race tomorrow, that's where you would see it change. But you just saw Lally pop up there to third. Here is the alternate start-finish line where you see the cones in the fence right there. And we utilize that so that once you have completed your lap, you can come right back down the pit lane and make any changes you need to your car, and you don't have to make a full lap. Really speeds up the process for these teams.
What? I tell you what, guys, look how close these times are for a first lap to go out and guess how far you can drive it in. I mean, we're 0.6 of a second there from first to ninth. That's a pretty tight gap.
Yeah, and if that's Noah Gregson's 90%, the whole field will be in trouble because he went ahead and went out and ran fairly hard, it looks like.
Anthony Alfredo showing speed in the 23. He is quickest. Daniel Hemrick second right now. Let's hear from his teammate, the likely favorite here tomorrow, A.J. Allmendinger with Josh.
And no one has had more success in the Xfinity Series on road courses than you, AJ. What did you learn during practice and that pace lap you got to ride around as well?
Well, I learned it was really wet and slick in practice. Probably what it's going to be like tomorrow. And qualifying right now is just interesting because in conditions like this, you get kind of split in the middle. It's definitely not wet enough. If it stays kind of misting like this, it's not too bad, but a little bit heavier rain, then it's going to get really slick, and you kind of get in that no man's land of can't run slicks, can't run wets. With this group qualifying, it's kind of hard. You got to give at least both groups equal conditions in a perfect world. But yeah, we'll see. This new Terrain Ag Solution Chevy is really good in practice, and it's going to be a dogfight tomorrow. It's going to be whether it's dry or wet, but if it's wet, you're going to be mentally challenged the whole time because you're going to have to fight that inch by inch. One little mistake can get you in big trouble. So we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. Let's do this.
Thanks and good luck, AJ.
He thinks they're going to have fun because he knows how good he's going to be in the race. Hey, let's go back to 2006. AJ won here, champ car, And this was a big win for him because he had just changed teams, and it was almost 16 years ago to the day. Happened on Father's Day, and his dad was there. That's a special moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is the young A.J. Allmendinger, and not only did he win this race, he went on to win the next 2 and won 5 races that year. It was almost a dream season for A.J. in the kart series.
What makes him so good as a road racer? So much experience, obviously. But you've competed against him, Trevor. Why is he so good at this stuff?
I wish I knew all of his secrets, right? I mean, I think the biggest thing when we go to a road course is maximizing braking zones. And you see it here with Noah Gragson being able to drive it, too much, right? So that's what we do. We want to find that limit, and AJ is really good at modulating that speed all the way to the corner apex. You know, some guys drive in hard, spike the brake pedal, and they don't know how to trail off not to lock up those front tires, and that's where AJ makes his speed. Also setting up at this track, you know, we're just now getting really familiar with it, but you see a lot of back and forth. It almost looks like S's all the way around the track, and how you position the car on exit of one corner affects the next corner instantly, and he's really good at keeping that car stable and carrying momentum connecting corners.
Lowry's throwing that thing around. This is kind of the S's portion of the racetrack here, 4 over to 7.
Well, and as you watch the back of that car squat, and it almost will pick up the inside front tire, they're doing that trying to find grip. It's really hard. The track is, even though it's dry right now, as the pace slows down, it's hard to get a hold of the track, and that puts all the weight on those back tires and allows the car to accelerate. They also are going to want that when it's raining out, trying to find grip, as we see another car having off the track right here.
That's turn 4, and that's the 38 of Darren Dilley, who's going to make his first career start here tomorrow. He's a PE teacher, but races SCCA, has the road racing experience. He's from the region and jumps in the second car for RSS Racing. 6 minutes to go. It's the Group A portion of the opening round of qualifying. Daniel Hemrick showing the way in Portland. On board with Riley Herbst. He's currently the first driver on the outside looking in. When you look at our top 5 and those drivers that would move on to round 2 qualifying and have a chance to run for the pole, you know, we're starting to see a few raindrops, and that's apparent based on what we're seeing on track. I don't know if this is rain related or not, but Andy Lally, really good, slides off in turn 4.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to find the limit of that car. We saw him lock up into turn 1. That was another lockup. It looked like into in turn 4 right here, the same corner. You see a little bit of smoke out of that car. You can't tell if it's a tire rub or just locking up that inside tire on the entry to all those corners.
You know, we're seeing those front tires carry a ton through these corners, and that makes it really tough for lockup. You've got no weight on that tire. You're trying to maximize the next corner, and I think that's going to come into play all weekend long. You don't want to flat spot these tires because you've got to start the race on them.
You look at that top 5, and we mentioned Hemrick down in the 116 bracket. Sam Mayer there as well. Really good effort by Jade Buford, who is back in the 48 driving for Scott Borchetta, a team that won a couple of weeks ago in Texas with Tyler Reddick behind the wheel. It was the first victory ever in the Xfinity Series for Big Machine Racing. Let's go down to Jamie.
For Josh Berry, he's been on a tear lately. He's won 2 of the last 4 races, led the most laps, but this is a road course. You've been watching this first group of qualifying. What do you see from these drivers?
This is wild. Obviously, we ran this morning, and it was really wet, and we're running about, I don't know, like 14, 15 seconds faster than we did this morning, so it's going to be a learning experience for me for sure. First time in the wet this morning, and now dry conditions going to be a lot different, but everybody in this Tire Pros Camaro has done a great job, especially the last few weeks. So we're going to just do the best we can here and try to have a good day tomorrow.
His best road course finish has been 8th, but that came back in 2021. See if he can improve this weekend.
You know, we had him on Race Hub this week, and he said at COTA he had to learn a lot of things the hard way. I said, but when you went to COTA, you didn't have any wins. Now you've got 2. You can go have fun and learn this weekend at Portland. And hey, while we were doing that interview, Anthony Alfredo once again to the top of the board. He is really having a good qualifying session.
Yeah, it's almost as if he came in, maybe they made an adjustment, maybe it's just the tires cooling down just a little bit, but went back out. That was a big lap. I'm gonna say that's probably safe, knowing that we only have a minute and a half left in this. And those guys that are out, Trevor, they're only a couple of tenths off. They come in, make a small adjustment, can get back out. Just a little bit that you learn thinking about, you know, your braking points and your entry to the corners, you can make that up.
And sometimes as a driver at a road course, you just need to come in, gather your thoughts, think about the areas you can make some speed, and go back out. Even without an adjustment, you can think of a few spots you can gain a couple tenths. And I think there's a lot more out here, guys. I think they're just now starting to push it. We saw Lally go off track. We're starting to see them really pick up here as they go. And I think the rate of speed for the second group will start about where we're at now, and it's going to pick up pretty quick.
Less than a minute to go for Group A. You don't have to finish your lap. You just have to start it. Austin Hill just jumped up to second. Jade Buford is on the bubble, and we're on board here with Riley Herbst, currently ninth. Can he jump up into the top 5 as we hit the 30-second mark?
Yeah, and you saw that's what they call the backstretch. It's actually got a curve in it. He's just now starting this lap. And I'm kind of torn on this because I like having that rabbit out in front of me of Brandon Jones being right in front of him. But if he makes a mistake and I catch him, that's going to mess my lap up. And on top of all of that, look at the rain that's hitting that camera. That really messes with your mind, knowing is it raining harder on one end of the track than the end that I'm at right now.
And you see the tracker. Herbst right now, in the red, and so we'll keep an eye on him and how that balances out to try to jump up inside the top 5. Time has expired for Group A, but again, if you've started the lap, and these drivers you're seeing now have, you can come back and finish.
Yeah, one thing that we're going to hear a lot of guys talk about is the exit of turn 12 and the exit of turn 7. What I noticed right there on Riley's lap is that he did not get off turn 12. He was 4/10 off before they even got to turn 1. So that could either be that he had a bad corner, or it could be that he's got 5 or 6 laps on his tires at this point, and the grip is just starting to go away.
You can kind of hear it there, the wheel spin out of these slower corners. But man, did you see how much curve he grabbed in turn 1? They're already starting to push that limit of how aggressive can we get taking these curves.
He and Brandon Jones both coming back to the alternate start-finish line, and neither is going to jump up inside the top 5, so they will not advance. Austin Hill with a late dash. Some debris on the race car, but it's all good because he moves on. And here he is, that lap that got him up in the top 5. No, I don't think that was not the lap that got him into the top 5, but he was getting after it, wasn't he?
Did get the grass on the grill, though.
Yes. Whew. I saw him hustling. I'm like, this is the one. Turns out it's not, but he will run for the pole with Alfredo, Hemrick, Mayer, and Buford. Needless to say, it's not been Chamber of Commerce weather in Portland, Oregon today. But look at this crowd. The only thing on track today was the Xfinity practice earlier in the rain, and now the qualifying, and they are out. And maybe we shouldn't be surprised because this is the first time that one of the top 3 series in NASCAR has been here in more than 20 years.
Adam, you are a man of knowledge. I know that you probably know how many days it rains in Portland per year.
I think 156.
I mean, these guys are. I have no idea the answer.
This is beautiful weather for them.
They're used to rain in Portland. They brought their umbrellas, got all their rain jackets on. They're just excited that NASCAR's in town.
So as far as you know, it is 156.
It could be 300 for all I know, Adam. I have no idea.
Hey, the top 5 move on. We talked about Alfredo, Hill, Hemrick, Mayer, and Buford. Noah Gragson doesn't, but that's almost poetic justice for the other guys, right? Because he couldn't have won he could have won the pole, but he wouldn't have started up front anyway. So I'm glad that some of these other guys have a chance to go out and win the pole here and start up front.
That's right.
It's 156, Adam. You are correct
how about
on that.
Yeah.
I feel like you might have looked that up before.
I think I read it somewhere. Let's go down to Jamie.
Well, Anthony Alfredo out of the car after that first group of qualifying. The team called you Anthony Andretti, said you came out to play today. You said you don't know where that lap came from. You wish you had done one more. What were you learning out there?
Yeah, I don't know. I just drove the heck out of it. I went as hard as I could, knowing that we needed a shot to make the second round, because at that point, the worst you're going to be is 10th. But I honestly feel like we'll have a nice shot at the pole here, so hopefully the rain stays away so we can finish it out. But really proud of everyone at Our Motorsports working so hard. Just been trying to become a better road racer. I don't know about that name. That's a little carried away. You still got a lot more to prove, but just thankful to have a fast dude wipe Chevrolet Camaro. We just got to go finish the job now.
The rain started to pick up at the end of the session. What effect did that have on the racetrack?
That's a great question, because somehow I ran faster. So I don't really know that it made it too wet. I think there was enough cars running and there's enough heat in the track. It stayed pretty dry. And I'm not sure if the heat cycle did anything to our balance to increase some of the grip. It didn't feel like it was necessarily better. I actually had to pass a slower car. So I guess just got fortunate with the timing of that. But, we'll see. I don't want the rain to pick up too much, because I really want to have this second round continue on and try to put our Dude Wipes Chevrolet Camaro on the front row for tomorrow.
Thank you for getting out of the car to do this interview. Let's see what the second group can do, guys.
not one, but two sponsor mentions for Anthony Alfredo / Andretti.
I liked his tactics. He said, I don't know. I just drove the heck out of it.
His adrenaline was still pumping right there. It's wide open still.
We've had two teams this year win for the first time in the Xfinity Series. Our Motorsports has never won a pole. Anthony Alfredo could change that today as Group B qualifying begins.
You know, Maya Snyder here, I think it's that strategy we talked about with Brandon Jones being out front of the last run. I think you need that rabbit, and Myatt knows Ty's going to be fast. If he can catch him a little bit, then he's going to be close to that top 5.
Yeah, if you're going to pick a rabbit, that guy or AJ Allmendinger would be the one to do it. And Myatt actually outbroke him a little bit into turn 1, but then it looked like he maybe got up on the curb, or maybe the curb was a little bit wet and lost all the ground he gained on the entry to the corner, lost it on exit.
This is going to be a real competitive session. We got Sheldon Creed, who was quickest in practice. You talk about this duo, who both should be pretty good, right? A.J. Allmendinger. Don't forget about Josh Berry, Justin Allgaier. I mean, there are some really, really good drivers in Group B.
Yeah, and Anthony Alfredo is watching timing and scoring right now, and he's going to have a really good idea in the next 15 seconds of kind of where the track is and where his lap time is going to stack up as Ty Gibbs is approaching that start-finish line that's on the backstretch where the timing and scoring actually starts.
We call that the alternate.
The alternate, sorry, I was tongue-tied, Adam.
There it is right there with a cones in the fence. And the 54 is on it.
One thing about this track, guys, there's not a lot of runoff. There's not a lot of width to work with. You know, if you have a bobble, kind of like we saw Myatt Snyder have off of turn 1 there, turn 2, it really killed the rest of his lap because it's hard to recover. You can't just carry that speed on off the corner. It makes it, you have to be so disciplined and so precise here.
Connor Mosack, that's the team car over at Joe Gibbs Racing. You know all about that 18, Trevor.
Yeah, it's a fast race car, I'll tell you that. And he was actually really fast in practice. I think coming into this, we all look at Connor and say he's a road course racer, but he's only been doing it for a couple years now.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you a story that will be there tomorrow. As you see, all that grass just got mowed. If you look at the grill of that car, he doesn't really have any damage, but that requires, you'll have to come to pit road to clean the brake ducts off and also the grill. And we've seen a lot of cars, like I say, no damage, but you still have to pit and you're going to lose all your track position.
Well, and how many times at Indy or Sonoma has somebody run off in front of you and brought that grass back onto the track? You're an innocent bystander, but you're going to pick up that grass just like they did.
Tough break for the 23-year-old out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and as he heads back toward the pit lane, Ty Gibbs right behind him, jumps to the top of the board, 1:18.53. Allmendinger comes through right behind him. He is second. Jeb Burton goes to P1, and now it's Sheldon Creed on his second lap, who is quickest in Group B.
You know, and I'm going to eat my words a little bit here. I thought this group might start off closer to the 116s, but they're just like the first group. This is fresh for them. They've never been here. They're trying to figure it out the same way the first group did.
Yeah, and the outlier here is the rain. And you see Allmendinger sliding around right there under the braking into turn 1. We saw Myatt Snyder in that same area. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of moisture to slow the track down a lot, but it seems like all of these guys, like I mentioned at the start of the show, they've started the air pressures not necessarily in like a qualifying trim, but more like a race pressure where it's going to take 3 or 4 or 5 laps to get the pressures up to speed, and you continue to gain grip every single lap.
Look at Allmendinger, who currently is 5th and on the bubble. And he's going to come back here to the back straightaway and hit that alternate start-finish line. And his pace right now is incredible on the tracker. I mean, he lost a little bit there, but he's 4/10 to the good. And we'll see what he does here, trying to jump up in front of Sheldon Creed. And he should do it with ease. Boom. Allmendinger to the top.
Little wiggle there out of the corner. He's starting to push it pretty good. And I think you're right, Jamie. It looks to me, I could be wrong, but it seems like the moisture is just picking up a little bit on this racetrack right now.
Yeah, but I love the way this format is because it doesn't matter if these guys are 5 seconds off. You only just have to be in the top 5 of this round to advance to the next round, and then everybody will be on the equal playing field when we start our final round. The one difference could be how many laps do I have to run? I saw Ty Gibbs actually running slow down the backstretch, which tells me maybe they had the grill taped up on that car a little more than some of these other ones. He's having to shut the engine off to cool it off. As you look at the grill on Allmendinger's car right there, kind of a middle of the ground, not taped way up. You see it looks like about a 2 by 20 inch hole, so he can probably run 3 or 4 laps here and not overheat.
Let's hear from his teammate, Josh.
Yeah, here with Daniel Hemrick, third fastest in Group A. How'd you feel about what you were able to do out there and the weather conditions that are ever-changing out here?
Yeah, ever-changing for sure. Really just didn't know what to expect, right? I think I ran a 1:35 something in practice was the fastest I ran. So to go pick up, roughly 15 plus seconds, you just don't know what that's going to be like until you experience it. So I'm really proud of everyone at College Racing, everyone on the Circle Chevrolet. Obviously, huge thanks to my teammate AJ Allmendinger. People don't know he's a past winner here in Gem Car, I think about 20 or 30 years ago. But it's been fun to lean on him, kind of get the little nuances of what makes this place what it is. It's been really cool also to see all the fans up here in the Northwest, this part of the U.S. For them to get Xfinity race pretty special. So who knows? Hopefully we can keep it going. It's good to be on the second round as it starts to pick up a little bit. Hopefully we can go run a lap as fast as Xfinity's Internet and have another good day.
All right, thanks for your time and good luck. Jamie?
Well, you heard him say ever-changing, and on a track that's almost 2 miles long, it can be different weather conditions on different parts. And what I'm hearing on the scanners are the secondary spotters that are at turns 10, 11, 12 on the backside of the track are saying that the rain is starting to pick up, but they're not hearing the same from the primary spotters that are up by the corkscrew area. So a little bit of variance out there from the start of the racetrack to the end of the racetrack. That's why you're seeing some guys get a little squirrely.
Yeah, that's great information, Jimmy. It is so different on each end of the track. As we see, though, Allgaier, everybody that gets on those curves, that's the first thing that you really notice to get slick because of the paint that's on the curves. As soon as you run across that, you lose all the grip. And we saw Allgaier have that. I'm watching him go through turn 12 right here, not using quite as much curb on exit as we've seen, and now he's going to pit. I think the track is starting to go the wrong direction. So for these guys that are already in the top 5, they're okay with a little bit of rain right now. They want to go out and use any more of those tires up.
You know what we just saw there? Sorry, Adam, but what we just saw there with Allgaier was he lifted when he was up. I did that at Watkins Glen one time. I thought it was a terrible lap. Came in and they were like, dude, you were up half a second. What were you doing? And I think sometimes when a track's this slick, it's hard to know what a good lap is. You shut it down early and you should have kept running.
6.5 minutes to go with Group B. And we told you, 5 have already advanced to the final round of qualifying from Group A. The top 5 from this session would advance as well. But should the weather deteriorate and the track go wet, NASCAR does reserve the right to say, we are all good at the end of Group B, and you feel like that would be a fair evaluation because everybody's had a great opportunity to get out here and run a lap. Sheldon Creed is leading the way in Group B qualifying. AJ Allmendinger, he is not afraid to put it where it needs to go. Under 4 minutes to go. Group B qualifying is the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Portland International Raceway. With Trevor Bayne, Jamie McMurray, I'm Adam Alexander. Jesse Awuji back to the pit lane after getting spun around and many guys going off track trying to avoid him here.
We've got dry tires and wet tires. We might need some grass tires before this qualifying's all over.
Yeah, you see Jesse Awuji turned in. Connor Mozak was coming on the inside, but this is where it gets really interesting is all these guys that come through. That's a really fast corner, the entry to that. And you see Josh Berry's another one that's going to come through in a second. All these guys, the splitter digging in, tearing up the grass all over the track right now.
And give some credit to Connor Mozak. Here you see him coming through right there in the 18. He went off, had all that grass, comes down, cleans it off. He is now second in Group B qualifying. Ty Gibbs got through. There's Josh Berry.
Where was he going, Adam?
That's over turn 11, right? Turn 10, turn 11, that area coming back toward the front straightaway. That's a tough spot too because where are all the spotters around this racetrack? It's totally different for these teams to have guys stationed around, and where do you watch? And everyone's getting acclimated to this.
It is, and the one thing that I see that I have not seen this whole session is that windshield wiper, which tells me that rain is picking up. But Ty Gibbs has been in, cooled his tires down. He's pulled back down, out, and is on a lap, and knowing how fast his teammate is in the 18 right now, Ty's pretty competitive, so you know that he's going to go out and see if he can get himself in this top 5 group. He's going to have one more lap to try to get done. But man, with all that grass on the track, you see him sliding around.
Yeah, he just missed it by 1/10.5 there, and this is where you can get yourself in trouble. Moisture's picking up. You're trying to get that little bit of extra. He's already run quite a few laps and hasn't been able to do it. So you got to kind of take care of your stuff here. You want to be in that top 5, but you got to be smart at the same time.
Yeah, Ty jumped from 8th to 6th, but not quite enough, as you said, Trevor, to get up inside the top 5. A time that would advance him to the final round if, in fact, we have one, Jamie.
Yeah, and he's going to get to complete this lap and maybe one more. The factor is just the rain and how much these tires have given up. And it also looked to me like he was going to catch a little bit of lap traffic on this lap. And not only could that screw up this lap, it might screw up the next one as well.
And I think if you're the top 3 here, Creed, Mosak, Allgaier, I mean, you're parked, right? Because the reality is it's hard to imagine with the conditions anybody is going to jump that far up the board and knock you out. We've gone under a minute, and I remind you one more time, you just have to start the lap. You don't have to finish it for it to count.
And one of the things we don't know much about yet at this racetrack is fall off. We don't know how fast the tires are going to fall off, so we'll have to watch here.
Ty Gibbs on that next lap to the top of the board, that pushes Josh Berry on the outside looking in.
Yeah, great lap because we saw him have to drive through the grass to complete that lap. And there's just so many unknowns, and the only way you're going to go faster is to push it a little deeper into a corner, roll the corner a little quicker, maybe use a little more curb than you did the lap before. But that was a huge pickup. That was about 7/10 from the lap prior to that. So great lap there by Ty Gibbs.
Joe Graff Jr. off the track. His time is about to expire with A.J. Allmendinger sitting on the bubble.
That'd be interesting if Allmendinger doesn't make it through to the next round.
And this lap would count for Myatt Snyder. And Myatt is a good road racer. Not sure he's got the speed to jump up in front of A.J., but currently 9th. And we'll see what he can do on his final lap. Last opportunity to make a jump and advance to round 2.
Well, if Allmendinger can be on the bubble, we know nobody's safe, right? I don't think at this point, if you're Allgaier or Mosak, you feel that comfortable because you got somebody right behind you that's so good. If he gets bumped, which time's up now, but could have went back out and bumped him as well.
He's 9th at 1:18.54 across the alternate start-finish line, and he's unable to make a jump. So Snyder stays in the 9th position, and I haven't seen anyone else on track. So I think we're all good for Group B. Gibbs, Creed, Mosak, Allgaier, Allmendinger, the top 5. They move on to run for the pole. The final round coming up from Portland International Raceway. Sunday on FS1 for the first time, the NASCAR Cup Series heats up in St. Louis, where Larson, Elliott, and the best drivers in the world look to get it done. Just outside the arch. First time Cup teams have been there. Coverage begins Sunday, 2 Eastern on FS1. Mike Joy, Clint Boyer, Michael Waltrip in the booth with a special appearance by St. Louis's own Kenny Wallace. Can you feel the energy? Here are the 10 drivers that move on to run for the pole. Group A, Alfredo Hill, Hemrick, Mayer, and Buford. And look at their times, because the only guy in the 116 bracket in Group B, Ty Gibbs, Creed, Mosak, Allgaier, Allmendinger, also going for the pole, and we have that for you when we return on FS1. How excited are fans about NASCAR being back in the Pacific Northwest? This kid absolutely having the time of his life.
He is pumped. It looks like he's got a Justin Allgaier suit on right there, standing on top of the truck. He is so excited to be there.
I'm rooting for Justin to win the pole. Why not, huh?
Bet that guy is.
Justin, one of the 10 drivers that has a chance to go out and get it done here. And, you know, there were some thoughts that maybe we wouldn't have this final round for the pole because we had some rain, but it looks like we're going to get after it here. I like it.
Adam, I did not like what you said earlier. I wanted to see the second round of qualifying, and I am so thankful that they have decided to let these guys go out and settle this. I'm torn on, do I want to get out there right away? Is the track, the track is about a second slower than what it was for that first round of guys. So do you go out right away, or do you let somebody go out and run a lap and kind of see where the track is time-wise?
What do you have for us, Jamie?
Well, right now it seems like everybody's waiting to see what cards the other drivers are going to play. And I was listening to the scanners during this little break that we had, particularly Anthony Alfredo, and the team was telling him, you went out in Group A. The second group, the rain came down a little bit heavier. There's more moisture on the track right now. That means you're going to have to back it down. Can't hit your same brake markers. He was acknowledging it on the radio, saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Just valuable information. And now I hear the engines firing to go out and see this racetrack.
Well, I think the fact that you see these drivers sitting and waiting, letting minutes go by, shows that they're a lot more confident in those braking markers. They're more confident in where they can push the car and where they can't. But right here we see is that A.J. Allmendinger rolling down to the end. He said, I'll show you how it's done.
It's going to be an all-colleague group here as Daniel Hemrick pulls out right behind his teammate.
So Trevor and I were just discussing under break. We thought that maybe that first group of cars had a little bit of an advantage. We know that cooler tires typically have more grip. But I don't know. I'm thinking that with the track being a little bit wet, Trevor, maybe look how slick it is right now. This is going to be exciting to watch of who can push that car to the limit. I almost think I want maybe a little bit of heat in my tires.
Well, if I'm sitting on pit road right now and I see AJ roll out and start sliding around, it's just going to get worse, right? So I want to hit the track right now, get out there, get my lap in, and then if it, dries out a little bit, go back out, run another lap. But to me, if it's misting like that, track conditions are just going to get worse as we go here.
Who's the favorite? Who's going to win the pole? It's hard to predict.
I'm telling you, it's going to be whoever can complete the whole lap because it is extremely slick right now. I'm almost thinking that you want wet tires with where the track is right now, knowing that you only have to run one lap. They can't turn. They don't stop. They're sliding around. The track is significantly different than where it was 5 minutes ago.
Here's the other thing I would say. If you never pull off pit road, you're going to start no worse than 10th. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you want to win the pole.
I didn't come here to start 10th, Adam. I came here to start first.
Yeah, but you don't want to be in a backup car in the back either. Let me be the crew chief and you be the driver, all right? There you go. AJ comes out by the alternate start-finish line. He said, I've had enough. I'm going to take some more time.
Strategy. Just sit at home.
Yeah, AJ's listening to me. Daniel Hemrick does the same thing. I think I saw Austin Hill had pulled out, so he's tiptoeing around. Sheldon Creed, the RCR teammates are out there.
Anthony Alfredo's heart rate has finally come back down, so he's back out on racetrack.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got to run a lap. Like I know we talked about the track's probably not going to get better, but you got to put a lap time up right now. And if I'm Sheldon, you got to run at least a lap and get a time on the board.
And now the caution is being displayed. So, and I know, hey, we will run in the rain, right? But when this thing started, NASCAR said it's a dry track, and so we use the slick tires. They don't have the rain tires. You want to make sure you do what's best in the name of safety and to take care of the equipment of the teams here.
You're wanting us to agree with you on that, aren't you?
Well, I throw these things up,
yep,
and sometimes Jamie takes them and runs with them, and other times he just stays silent.
And it's so much different to sit here and watch. I mean, I want to see these guys go out and run. But Trevor, we've been in that position, and when it's that slick. I mean, look at this, how slick these guys are crawling around the track. It's amazing the difference from the treaded tires to the slicks.
Well, and it's hard to go backwards, right? In practice, they were running 130s, 128s, and they jumped down to those 116s. Well, now when you tell a driver, hey, you've got to run those 124s again or something like that, they don't want to do it. They're still going to use those dry braking zones, and you just got to back it down a little bit when it's slick like that. I think it's harder to do that. It's almost like going from dirt racing to pavement racing. You get all this grip and you get excited, hard to back it up.
And AJ didn't just pull back in. He's getting out of the car. I've had enough.
Said, here's the towel.
Well, and he's frustrated, and here's the reason why. Because, he went in that second group when we know the track was wet, and that had a played a big role in the fact that times were slower in Group B. And if we utilize those opening round times to set the field, he's going to be handicapped considerably over what he might have been if he had a chance to go out here and run in this final round.
He is, and it's such an advantage because you know that AJ had a shot at the pole, and knowing that it's most likely going to rain tomorrow, having that track position, we talk about it every week on an oval. Track position's big for air. We know that those cars handle better. but visibility will be the number one factor that everyone fights tomorrow. And if you're the guy out front, you can see. You might have a little fog on your windshield, but you can see. But the mist and the spray that these cars put up when you're even 3 or 4 rows back it's so hard to see for those guys.
They've stopped the clock. Qualifying is done. We will not have this second round. So on the pole, Anthony Alfredo, whose team said we can call him Anthony Andretti. It's his first career pole and the first for our motorsports, and it comes here in the Xfinity Series first ever trip to Portland International Raceway.
We knew we could see anything today, but I don't think I saw this coming. You know, I definitely thought Ty Gibbs, AJ Allmendinger, even Gregson before practice there when he had his issue, that's who we were going to see on the pole. Anthony Alfredo right here is having the time of his life.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch him over the last couple of years, and you could see as soon as he got out of the car the smile, and now he's going around being able to hug everybody. What a night that young man's going to have tonight, knowing that he's going to start this race from the pole tomorrow.
Third straight race where we get a first-time pole winner. Noah Gragson was able to do it at Texas. Last week his teammate Sam Mayer pulls it off at Charlotte, and here in Portland on the road course, it's Anthony Alfredo, and here's a driver that needs a good run because they've had a couple of tough weeks, and he's just below the playoff cut line. There's your front row. Anthony Alfredo, Austin Hill. I did not see that coming.
Early rain is given way to cloudy skies, but cool temperatures in New Hampshire, and that can only mean one thing. Speeds will be wicked fast. It's qualifying for the NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series from New England Dragway and Epic. Coming up next on FS1.
Qualifying is done in Portland for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Anthony Alfredo on the pole for the first time in his career. Jamie?
And it's been congratulations all around. Competitors coming over saying, doesn't matter how he got it, you got your very first career pole. What opportunities is this going to afford you for the race tomorrow when there's so much unknown with the weather?
It's huge. Whether it rains or not, track position is key because we don't have live pit stops this week. You just come in at the brakes for 4 tires and fuel, so you can't short pit, you can't run long. So it's critical to get that track position, and now we just got to maintain it. So getting a pole makes us one step closer. And I know some would say it's just a pole, but this is a big deal for our team. You know, we don't have a lot of resources, and if you're new to NASCAR, especially at a place like this, and you're looking for someone to pull for us, this is it right here, is 23 Camp. We got a Dude Wipe Chevrolet Camaro as fast as Xfinity Internet, and I was hoping it would keep raining, and I think the best part about all this was that I had to get back in and go out there, and I said, all right, I guess we got to do it the hard way, and it was kind of undrivable conditions on slicks at least. So like you said, I guess it doesn't matter how you get it. We got the pole, so it's a pretty cool opportunity, and just very thankful to be here. So shout out to everybody, mom, dad, family at home. Love you guys. Wish you were here.
Anthony's got a smile, but there's another emotion at the other end of pit lane, Josh.
Yeah, AJ Allmendinger going to have to start 10th. We saw the frustration when he got out of the car. Can you explain why?
We're probably going to the back, honestly. We're fighting some mechanical issues that crept up again there in the middle of qualifying. So I thought we had solved it, and then it just came back, and we went back out there, and it was there's something that unfortunately we don't know what it is. We're trying to figure out what we need to do to fix it. So, you know, I felt like the Nutrien X Solution Chevy handled really well. You know, that first run, I was just trying to be somewhat cautious. You don't want to toss the car off. You know, tomorrow's conditions are going to be a lot different, most likely. So, however they set the lineup, I don't think it really matters for us right now. So, we got some work to do to go figure that out, and hopefully tomorrow, I think if we don't have any issues, we can get back to the front. But we got to figure out what those issues are right now.
AJ Allmendinger with some work to do before tomorrow, guys.
2 fast cars coming from the back. Noah Gragson, AJ Allmendinger. Here's your top 10, guys. You got Hemrick there, Mayer on row 2, Gibbs, great run for Jade Buford, and we look forward to bringing it to you tomorrow live on FS1. There is the lineup for Trevor and Jamie. I'm Adam. Thanks for watching. It's time for NHRA.